Water scarcity is a growing global issue, driven by the increasing demands of expanding populations and the impact of climate change on natural resources. Many countries are struggling to secure adequate and sustainable water supplies, but Israel stands as a remarkable example of how innovation, resilience, and strategic planning can overcome such a critical challenge. Despite being a desert nation, Israel has successfully turned its water crisis into an opportunity, developing groundbreaking technologies and infrastructure to ensure reliable access to water not only for its own needs, but also for neighboring countries. By adopting cutting-edge solutions such as desalination and water recycling, Israel has become a global leader in water management, exporting its expertise and technologies to other water-scarce nations. Historically, Israel has faced chronic water shortages, particularly after its founding in 1948, when the country was newly established and its population was growing rapidly. The lack of reliable water sources was a serious challenge to the nation's development, agricultural productivity, and overall well-being. The situation became even more critical as waves of Jewish immigrants arrived in the country, placing additional strain on the already limited water resources. The need for effective water management was undeniable, and solutions had to be found quickly. In the 1930s, long before the establishment of the State of Israel, a British engineer named Walter Clay Loudermilk had already proposed an idea that would eventually lay the groundwork for Israel's ambitious water infrastructure. He suggested diverting water from the Jordan River and its tributaries in the north to the dry and arid regions of the Negev Desert in the south. Although this idea was put on hold due to the onset of World War II and the geopolitical challenges of the region, it provided an early blueprint for addressing water scarcity. When Israel declared independence in 1948, it immediately recognized the critical importance of securing water for the country's survival and prosperity. This recognition led to the development of the National Water Carrier, one of the most ambitious infrastructure projects in the country's history. The National Water Carrier was designed to transport water from the Sea of Galilee, a natural freshwater reservoir located in the north of the country, to the arid south, where rainfall is virtually non-existent. The project would connect Israel's most fertile and rainy region to its most arid area, providing a solution to the pressing issue of water distribution. The National Water Carrier project, which began in 1953 and was completed in 1964, spanned 130 kilometers and required the construction of canals, tunnels, pipelines, pumping stations, and reservoirs. The system was designed to collect water from the Sea of Galilee and transport it through a series of interconnected channels to the southern Negev Desert, providing water to both agricultural and urban areas along the way. The project faced numerous challenges, including the need to lift water over significant elevation changes and the construction of tunnels, some of which, like the 17-kilometer-long Eshkol Tunnel, were groundbreaking feats of engineering. One of the most impressive aspects of the National Water Carrier was its ability to address both the supply and quality of water. The water from the Sea of Galilee is filtered and treated before being transported, ensuring that it meets the high standards required for human consumption and agriculture. The system is also designed to maintain the ecological balance of the Sea of Galilee, ensuring that water is extracted at a sustainable rate so as not to deplete the lake's natural reserves. The National Water Carrier revolutionized water access in Israel. By the time it was completed, the system was capable of supplying water to around 80% of Israel's agricultural needs and 20% of its drinking water. Over time, however, the balance shifted, and by the early 1990s, the National Water Carrier was supplying more than half of the country's drinking water. The Sea of Galilee became a strategic water source not only for Israel, but also for its neighbors, most notably Jordan. As part of the peace agreement between Israel and Jordan in 1994, Israel agreed to provide Jordan with a share of the water from the Sea of Galilee. Initially, this amount was 25 million cubic meters of water annually, but in 2021, the amount was increased to 50 million cubic meters. In effect, the Sea of Galilee has become an important water source, not just for Israel, but for the entire region, supporting both agricultural and drinking water needs. Despite the success of the national water carrier, Israel continued to face water challenges, particularly due to periods of drought and fluctuations in rainfall. One of the most severe droughts occurred in 2017, when the water levels of the Sea of Galilee reached historically low levels. The combination of natural variability and climate change made it clear that Israel needed to diversify its water sources and adopt a more sustainable approach to water management. This led to the development of desalination technologies, which have since become a key part of Israel's strategy to secure a reliable water supply. Desalination is the process of removing salts and minerals from seawater to make it suitable for human consumption, agricultural use, and industrial purposes. In Israel, the desalination of seawater has become a cornerstone of its water strategy. The country's first desalination plant was established in the 1960s, and by the early 2000s, Israel began to refine desalination technology, especially reverse osmosis, which involves forcing seawater through a membrane that removes salt and other impurities. The breakthrough in desalination technology came with the construction of the Ashkelon desalination plant in 2005, one of the largest desalination plants in the world at the time. Since then, Israel has built additional desalination plants along its Mediterranean coast, creating a robust and sustainable network for water production. Today, Israel operates several desalination plants that together produce approximately 600 million cubic meters of fresh water annually. This accounts for about 80% of Israel's domestic drinking water needs, with the remaining 20% coming from the national water carrier and other sources, including recycled wastewater. The success of Israel's desalination plants has helped ensure that the country can meet the growing demand for water despite its limited natural resources. Moreover, the desalination industry has also made Israel a global leader in water technology. The country exports desalination technology and expertise to other nations, helping to address water scarcity in other parts of the world. Israel's water management strategies, including desalination, the national water carrier, and water recycling, have not only addressed the country's immediate water needs, but also allowed it to build a surplus of water. This surplus has made it possible for Israel to export water to neighboring countries like Jordan, and it is also helping to maintain a stable and resilient water system even in the face of climate change and population growth. The combination of innovation, engineering excellence, and strategic planning has allowed Israel to turn what was once a severe water crisis into an opportunity for growth and collaboration with its neighbors. Through these efforts, Israel has become a model for other nations facing similar challenges. In 2022, Israel achieved a remarkable milestone in its quest to manage water resources effectively. The country inaugurated an innovative project designed to pipe desalinated water into the Sea of Galilee. This initiative marked the first time in history that desalinated water was used to replenish a freshwater lake. The project aimed to maintain the water levels of the Sea of Galilee, which has been Israel's primary freshwater source for decades. The idea was to ensure that the lake would remain viable during dry years, preventing it from reaching critically low levels as a result of the increasing frequency of droughts exacerbated by climate change. To implement this project, Makara, the national water company of Israel, constructed a 13-kilometer-long underground pipe that connects the Sea of Galilee to infrastructure linked to 5 desalination plants along Israel's Mediterranean coast. Desalinated water from these plants is now funneled into the lake, ensuring a steady supply of water even when the natural sources fall short due to droughts or other environmental factors. This development is a testament to Israel's ingenuity in turning seawater into a vital resource for maintaining the health of its freshwater ecosystems. The project is part of Israel's broader strategy to diversify its water sources and increase its water security in the face of climate change and growing demand. A second phase of the project is expected to be completed in the coming years. This expansion will bring additional desalinated water into the Sea of Galilee, sourced from new desalination plants. as well as water extracted from wells in the northern regions. This expansion is an example of Israel's commitment to harnessing water sources that were once considered unusable or inefficient, particularly in light of the growing threat of water scarcity. In addition to desalination, Israel has developed some of the most advanced water conservation and recycling systems in the world. One of the most significant aspects of Israel's water management strategy is its wastewater treatment and reuse program. More than 90% of the country's wastewater is treated and recycled, primarily for agricultural irrigation. This process plays a crucial role in reducing the demand for fresh water in agriculture, which traditionally consumes the largest portion of water in most countries. One of the central facilities involved in this effort is the Shafdan wastewater treatment plant, located in the Dan region near Tel Aviv. The plant processes millions of cubic meters of wastewater each day, which is then treated to a level suitable for agricultural use. The treated water is pumped to the Negev desert in southern Israel, where it is used to irrigate crops in one of the country's most arid regions. This method allows Israel to maintain its agricultural productivity even in regions with minimal natural freshwater resources, contributing to the country's food security and economic stability. Beyond wastewater recycling, Israel has also pioneered the development and use of drip irrigation technology. Drip irrigation is a method of applying water directly to the roots of crops through a network of tubes, valves, and drippers. This method significantly reduces water wastage by minimizing evaporation and runoff. By delivering water directly to the plant's root system, drip irrigation ensures that more of the applied water is absorbed by the plants, making it one of the most efficient irrigation systems in the world. With drip irrigation, Israel has been able to reduce the amount of water allocated to farming without compromising the productivity of its agricultural sector. This technology has allowed Israel to continue producing high yields of crops even in regions that would otherwise be unsuitable for farming due to water scarcity. Israel has also made significant strides in improving the efficiency of its water conservation systems. The country continually upgrades its water filtration and production systems to meet growing demand and improve the quality of water supplied to its citizens. These advancements have helped Israel conserve even more water while maintaining its infrastructure to address both current and future needs. The nation's ability to constantly innovate and refine its water management technologies has set it apart from many other countries facing similar challenges. Israel's water conservation efforts have been particularly impactful in terms of sharing knowledge and expertise with other countries facing water scarcity. Israeli companies such as IDE Technologies, Netafim, and Mekarot have played key roles in exporting water management technologies globally. These companies have helped to address water scarcity in countries like India, China, Australia, and the United States, providing solutions that range from desalination plants and water recycling systems to advanced irrigation technologies. By exporting these technologies, Israel has not only improved its own water security, but also contributed to global efforts to mitigate water scarcity. Despite Israel's successes in water management, the country still faces ongoing challenges. Climate change is expected to worsen water scarcity in the Middle East, leading to more frequent and intense droughts. These changes in precipitation patterns and rising temperatures will likely place additional stress on Israel's water resources, requiring continued innovation and adaptation. The region's geopolitical tensions also pose a risk to water security, particularly regarding shared water sources, like the Jordan River. Disputes over the allocation of water from these sources could complicate Israel's ability to maintain stable water supplies in the future, especially in the context of increasing demand from both domestic and neighboring populations. To address these challenges, Israel continues to invest heavily in research and development, exploring new technologies to further enhance its water management capabilities. One area of focus is solar-powered desalination, which could reduce the energy costs associated with desalination processes, making the technology more sustainable and environmentally friendly. Solar desalination could also help mitigate the country's reliance on fossil fuels and reduce its carbon footprint. Another promising area of research is atmospheric water generation, a technology that extracts water from the air, providing an alternative source of water in regions where traditional water sources are insufficient. Israel is also exploring ways to make wastewater treatment even more efficient, ensuring that even more water can be recycled and reused for agricultural, industrial, and domestic purposes. Israel's approach to water management is a comprehensive and forward-thinking model that combines technology, innovation, and sustainable practices. The country's success in overcoming its water crisis has not only benefited its own population, but has also positioned Israel as a global leader in the field of water management. As the challenges posed by climate change and population growth intensify, Israel's continued investment in water technologies will be crucial for maintaining its water security and ensuring that it can continue to share its expertise with other nations facing similar issues. Through ongoing research, technological development, and international cooperation, Israel aims to continue its leadership role in the global effort to solve the growing water crisis.